Theater of the mind.
Theater of the mindset.
Last week on Faith and Fortune, during a meeting of the Warren Task Force, the gang found out that a prelate of the Baaz faith was killed trying to prove that Isan Halavard was not an anointed. Afterwards, a sister from the Church of Iracinda told Luken to, quote, get his house in order or they will get it in order for them. Later, Luken dropped off the promised supplies at the soup kitchen and found himself proving his wings out in the streets of the Commons. And Sahra, in the back room of the soup kitchen, found a new community within her new community and started training more in the ways of the Urnations. We now pick up with Herry in a very important meeting. Herry Pinch strides through the Venetharan University of Arcane Arts, heading towards the office of Tallulah Pinch. He then kicks open the door and loudly proclaims, Tallulah Pinch, you're under investigation by the Venetharan Senate for crimes against rats.
Well, Senator Pinch, double Jeopardy rules says that I can't be charged for the same crime twice. So, what do you say to that?
You got me. And then gives a big hug to his mom.
She gives you a big hug back. Her office and the attached lab is fairly pristine for the efforts that she puts into it. The issue at hand is that she doesn't put a lot of effort into it. There are a number of books stacked up on the floor, and it is clear that some of the stacks of books are because she didn't have room to put them on the bookshelves, and other stacks are for sitting on.
Sure.
Currently set up in the middle of the lab, there are at least 25 mice currently maneuvering their way through this maze. A group of 7 of them, though, that seem to be working together to work their way through the maze somehow. And after she finishes giving you a hug, they've figured out the trick wall over there. I'm so impressed. She takes a note.
How is this related to magic at all?
What? Is it not? What?
Clearly not.
Oh, well, you see, I'm trying to ascertain what the minimum number of suggested mice it takes to get the collective out together.
Tipping point situation.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Sure.
It seems as though 3 suggested mice isn't enough.
Okay. So is 7 the number then? Looking at these 7?
Well, no, only one of those mice in that 7 is currently enchanted. She points to another mouse that's kind of by itself. That one's also been suggested, but seems to lack the charisma necessary to lead other mice. And that's the trick. See, you can suggest to a person to do whatever you want. You still have to depend on their innate abilities. And so the trick is to find a median number that we can count on to capture the right number of characteristics on average to impact the larger group.
It's a wonder you're not a more popular spellcaster around here. But I heard you got a visit from the king.
Did you come? Truly, did my son come all of this way to critique my work?
No, I was curious about it. It was less about your work.
It seems like that's all you've done. Do you want to walk out the door and try all of this again?
I just came. I heard. I sent Asher your way. He cornered me in his office. Which, by the way, you should have that office. This is crazy that you have such a different office and a less nice office. He's got such a nice office. Herry is just trying to blow heat off of himself.
You see her look around her. Does he have a lab?
He's got enough space for a lab, I can tell you that much. It's like a little, it's a nice apartment sitting over there.
Whoa.
I know. We should petition. He's not using it.
She considers for a second. How would I wonder if I could do an experiment to see if I could, like the maze could be convincing the mice to go to there.
Now we're talking. He would love that.
She
It'd be so fun.
She jots this down. Move mice to...
Did he swing by, though?
He did. It was very brief.
Oh.
It was very brief.
Okay. But on your end or on his end?
Together.
Okay.
The time together was brief.
Who made it brief, I guess, is the...
He did.
Okay.
But that's fine.
Yeah, of course. He's busy.
I understand. Listen.
He's like 19 people. It's, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He is truly the king.
Yeah.
And I am just a tenured professor here.
But you're also his grandmother.
That's true. And I'm your mother.
Absolutely. That's why I'm here.
That's why you're here.
Absolutely. How's Dad?
Oh, he's good. He's enjoying retirement, which honestly is a concept beyond me.
I know it. Don't I know it?
I think today his goal is to, like, clean the eaves, which is, again...
Yeah.
It seems like something we could...
Is he doing it alone?
Yes. I tried to tell him that climbing a ladder at his age is inappropriate.
Yeah.
And climbing on the roof is inappropriate.
Yeah.
But it's...
Who's going to convince him?
You would think... See, people assume that because I have developed an incredible number of enchantment spells, that I would have a handle on my husband.
Do you think he's, like, built up a resistance at this point?
Well, that would imply that I've ever cast a spell on him.
And you would never.
And I would never.
You would never.
That breaks the code of ethics that we all adhere to.
Sure.
But the threat doesn't even seem to faze him.
Yeah.
And that bothers me to my core.
Fair enough. But you've made it this long.
Scares a lot of other people, just the idea that I could, and they wouldn't know.
Yeah, he knows you're a coward.
Do you want to start this conversation over again? My son.
Yeah. Have you heard from Tallulah recently?
She is currently in one of her moods. And so I have not heard from her.
What's the last you heard?
About a month ago, she allowed me to visit her at her estate. And she seemed better.
Okay.
I wish that she would allow a doctor to see her, but that is her prerogative. And I don't blame her. If I was under the amount of scrutiny that she had been under for the first few years of Asher's life, I also maybe wouldn't trust the doctors around me or the authorities around me. But I'm not her. So I sometimes struggle as her mother to relate, but it is her prerogative.
Yeah.
She just seems stressed right now. Yeah. She's under a lot of stress. And so she has taken it to have some alone time for this time being.
She's been this way since I've been born. When did that even start?
Oh, I mean, it's been for probably most of your memory, honestly. I mean, when she was always a little bit of the black sheep, and that's on me and your father, I think. Honestly, I have the wherewithal to own that.
Good for you.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. We put a lot of pressure on her, and rightly so, she wanted to find her own way. So when she met her husband...
What was that compound called?
I don't know. I can never...
Jacobs.
Whatever hippie compound. It was his family.
His ladder, whatever. Yeah.
His family just... They were different.
Yes.
But
and that's saying something, because we're different.
They say the same thing about us. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm
absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
She swats at a mouse that's climbing out of the maze.
100%.
Down.
Yes.
Down.
Different.
Down. Sorry.
Don't be. Yeah. Work to do.
And then she got pregnant, and everything changed because they, at no choice of her own, pulled her out, her and her husband, out of their family that they chose, and kind of forced them back on us because we were a better family for the king to be raised on. And so she just felt like she was constantly being monitored and watched, and that person that she was carrying was more important than her. And although they allowed her to raise him, and she makes air quote fingers, she never felt like that was the case.
Yeah. I mean, talk about it like a bum deal when it sounds like a great deal. They make it sound like it's a real blessing to be a king's mother. But what do you remember? And this is Harry internally trying to dance around picking his mother's memory about, like, when we found out and when Tella found out that she was carrying Asher and that Asher was going to be the king and all of this, and trying to, like, that's his sort of goal here. When did you find out that she was carrying Asher and that this whole thing, like, who and how did she find? I mean, I don't really know this story at all.
I mean, we found out, your dad and I found out basically when she showed up on the doorstep.
Jeez.
With her husband Bastion. I mean, they had a whole contingent of guards who basically explained to us that your sister and her husband were the parents of the incarnate king. Wow. And apparently those people, the priestesses of the sun who interpret these dreams, knew that your sister was carrying the incarnate king from her dreams, or from Asher's dreams.
Sure.
And so they were there. I don't know. They found her from those, and basically everything from there was under, it felt like, to her at least, lock and key.
Did you ever, I don't know why, I mean, just seeing Asher recently, he seems incredibly stressed, and he kind of talked to me about this whole deal and Warren and everything, and we're trying to deal with that. And so it just got me thinking about that whole thing, and just what was your mind on the magic of that? Like, were you watching that fairly closely? I mean, you've got interest in some of this.
The magic of what?
Of the transfer, like of how Asher became king and all of this stuff. You had to have been interested in that and watching that.
As far as I understand, how it works is the current king begins to die at the same time that his next body is conceived, and his soul begins the transfer almost immediately over that time period.
Okay.
And so upon death, his actual death, he then ends the transfer in its completion at the same moment that he is born.
And Harry's like trying to kind of distract his mom with like information, like, tell me more about this fascinating thing. Like, this wouldn't be an unusual conversation because she is such an intellectual person, and Harry is mildly manipulative.
Give me a presence roll.
Can I use "You've Got a Friend" on my mom?
You cannot use "You've Got a Friend" on your mom.
That's an 11 plus 3. It's a 14 with hope.
Yeah, I think she doesn't necessarily notice anything.
Yeah. I mean, who was monitoring all of this? It was Church of Iris. Like, who was that? Who was the priestess at that point? I've been dealing with the Church of Irisenda recently, and they are not motherly in the same way you were motherly, but I don't know if that's on them or us.
It was, what was her name? Gosh, and she kind of thinks for a second. Mother Adelphi? Mother Danielle Adelphi. Yes, that was right.
Yeah.
Mother Adelphi was, gosh, she was old even then, wasn't she? She makes me feel young when I think about it. She was the one who interpreted Esau's dreams and then was there for Asher for the first, it had to be 20 years?
Yeah, I mean, I remember her being around. I didn't realize she saw the previous and knew. I thought it was just Asher's. That's wild.
She was there for a long time.
That's wild. Did you ever have interest in like how those magics worked as far as like the sorcery and the memory sort of like receiving and all of that?
I mean, sorcery is so different from... It's unlike... It has a little bit more in common with primal magic.
Sure.
Than it does the arcane arts. But it goes a step beyond. I mean, Asher was casting spells from a young age. And it just... For sorcerers, it's like magic answers to them at no cost. And I will spend months watching that idiot, and she points to one rat with one mouse with a blue dot, guide the rest of these fuckers down the wrong paths, just so that I can understand a little bit how the brain works, so that I can adjust the suggestion spell a little bit to get a better result. And it's like magic answers to them.
How many sorcerers have you even seen in your lifetime at this point?
You can count on two hands the number of sorcerers there are.
Huh.
You've got, here at the university, you've got Valentina.
Yeah.
She's a sorcerer.
Oh, okay. What's her name?
Valentina Bly. You would know her if you saw her.
Oh,
objectively beautiful.
The one with the dresses.
She wears, honestly, yes, beautiful dresses.
Okay.
But don't be fooled. They're more practical than you would think.
Really? Like a lot of pockets?
She stores magic. Like, no, I mean battle ready.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got it.
She makes mage armor into fashion.
Why? Does that seem like a good use of resources to you?
That's the thing with sorcerers. They don't care.
There are no resources.
This is not a limit to them.
Yeah. Interesting. You said he's casting 1 year old? Is that what you're saying?
He was not intentionally casting.
Sure, but there's signs of...
Well, by 5, he was casting spells that, frankly, and I love you.
Sure.
You are my favorite child.
That's a weird follow-up to his spell casting, but...
He was doing spells at 5 that I think you were still struggling with well into your teens.
Sure. Magic was never my main deal.
Right.
To be fair.
Right. I wish it had been.
I know. And Dad wishes I was just a pure historian. So
yes.
I'd say you split me right down the middle.
Right.
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul.
Yes. Don't tell your sister.
When do you think the last time I saw her?
Yeah. She probably knows, right?
Yeah, probably. But you're in therapy. She's probably, hopefully, getting some counseling. It's fine.
I feel like the kingdom would offer her counseling, right?
One would hope. What? One more question. What are you were around for the actual harmonization a bit. What are your memories of that, and who was involved there, and what that process looked like? Harry's making a jump, or Nick is probably making an assumption that as a high level Arcanist at the university, she's probably allowed more than the average grandma in the magical process of that, or would have at least taken way more of an interest than the average.
If I remember correctly, and there are typically a number of Arcanists responsible for maintaining the harmonization instruments. But it was an individual by the name of Manuel Collinsworth, Arcanist Collinsworth. Still works here.
What'd you think of Manuel? What do you think of Manuel?
He's very talented. Little outside of my realm of knowledge, although anyone smart enough and important enough to monitor the harmonization instruments is very talented and is going to get my respect.
Okay. Man, you're a lot nicer about magic users than not magic users. Did you know that? Have you realized that? You're way more judgy to non-magic users, but you're so respectful to other magic users.
Is that...
It's fine.
What do you...
No, it's just a thing I've never noticed before.
And I think I have it. I think I have, but it's not about magic users. So I'm just reflecting.
Is this? I don't mean to be.
No, and it's not a problem. I don't see you be reverent about very many people.
He's just very talented,
I understand that, but I just don't see you be reverent about very many people. And so it speaks very highly.
I think your father's really talented. He's not a magic user.
Sure. Yeah.
He's so smart.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Huh, so I proved you wrong.
Yep. Anyway.
You're a magic user?
Yeah, I dabble, but not like everyone else. Well, I appreciate the time. If you think of anything else, if you can remember.
You're asking, is there something wrong?
Nothing wrong. Just been thinking about Asher lately, and there's been a lot of high stress. There always is a lot of high stress situations. But
is this about Warren?
It's about Warren. I was up in Charnwood dealing with some Ur Nation protesters a couple weeks back as well. It's just I guess between, you've seen the cult of metamorphosis kind of popping up and these things.
Seems like trouble.
Yeah. So Asher's kind of in the thick of it right now, and I have a lot of access to some of that information, so I'm just maybe more aware than usual of how tense things are.
Is he in danger?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of yet. So, but okay. just keeping an eye out on him, and I just want to make sure, the more information I have, the better to kind of keep an eye on.
If he never had any, they called whatever previous reincarnations prior to their harmonization ritual would have clashes of past lives memories.
Yeah.
It was
their episodes.
Yeah. I don't know that that's the best phrase in hindsight.
Sure.
But he never had any of those.
He never had any?
He never had one.
Well, I didn't know that. I remember us talking about he was stressed about getting them.
That was something that we as the adults, we never put this responsibility totally on you all. You were all made aware of them, but
of course.
We were under very strict orders to monitor for those, especially if they increased in frequency, so that we could move the ritual of harmonization up if we needed to.
And he just never
had one. But if you see him have any now, which can happen if they are he's not halflings. We're not long-lived species, but it can happen.
Yeah.
They can do it again if he has one, or has more frequently.
Wow, I had no idea he had never gone through that.
Yeah, never happened.
Fascinating. What do you think of that? Do you think that's strange?
I think he's lucky. It seems like he's lucky.
Sure. Yeah.
And I would have to do technically I would want to know how frequent previous incarnations had them to know if there's a statistical anomaly there.
Yeah.
I don't want to make assumptions here.
Of course.
It would be doing a disservice.
Sure.
That's how rumors spread. That's how we find ourselves in situations where people believe things that are not true.
Yep.
That's anecdotal, and that's not good science.
Sure.
Down. Gosh. But it is something worth looking into.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on him. I think he's all right, but I'm just always worried about him.
Yeah.
All right. Get back to work.
If you maybe talk to his dad's always so much easier to talk to than your sister.
You think Bastion's easy to talk to?
Oh my God, the man doesn't shut up.
It's easy to get talked at.
In terms of, honestly, in terms of a son-in-law,
sure,
having one that emphatically wants your approval is not a bad quality to have.
You just would hope that he would eventually feel like he had it.
Yes. And I've given it to you. Can we move on?
Yeah.
I would like to move on.
We are family.
Yes.
We got it. Check.
Done. I love you. My daughter is a part of our family, and you're a part of the family, and everyone's great. Moving on.
Yeah.
But he would probably gladly talk to you about all of these things.
Okay. Yeah.
He just
I wonder, when's the last time any of us saw him? Holidays?
Oh, yeah. He's
Yeah.
always trying to, like, get your sister to come, but she's always backing out.
Yeah.
So...
Okay.
But it wouldn't be hard to get a hold of him if you wanted to. He would love to have a conversation with you.
Sure he would. Hey, I'll give him a holler. I'll check in on him just to see how he's doing.
Yeah.
All right. I love you.
All right. Love you too.
talk
Don't be a
soon.
stranger.
I won't. And Harry takes off.
Down.
Now that we finished up with Mom, I'm going to go check in with Beanie and grab her and then head to Luken's office.
You find Beanie in your office. She is hunched over the desk and clearly tabulating something and does not notice you come in.
Hey, grab the basement books. We're taking a walk.
Unresponsive.
Hey,
Huh.
grab the basement books. We're
Senator
taking a
Pinch.
walk. You don't. It's fine.
She gets up.
Okay, it's fine. Look, do you have the basement books nearby?
Basement books?
Basement books.
Oh, yes. She reaches in under her shirt and pulls out a key and then goes over.
Incredible.
Unlocks a cabinet where she pulls out another key. Goes over.
Yep.
Unlocks another cabinet where she pulls out the books.
Incredible.
Puts all of those things back to where she found them. And she looks expectantly at you.
All right, let's take a walk. We're going to Luken's office.
Senator Pinch,
Yes.
all due respect,
Yes.
leaving the room with these books is a risk.
Yeah.
The chances of someone else seeing them or them being taken.
Can you do it from memory?
No.
Well, we're at an impasse, Beanie.
I wonder if I could find a box to lock them.
But
No,
you-
it'll
but-
be fine.
It'll be fine. Here, I'm going to show you a trick. And then Harry walks over to the cabinet and casts runic lock on it and makes it so that Beanie and Harry can be the only two people to open this, like, period. And so he's like, this will be like a very safe place for this.
When it's here.
Yeah. When you get back,
But we're taking it.
When you get back, put it back in this thing, and then you don't have to worry about keys on keys on keys.
I wasn't worried about keys on keys.
What if you're doing laundry and you forgot to take the keys out of your blouse?
That's never happened before.
But what if it does?
Why would that happen?
But what if it did?
I don't understand the question.
All right, let's go.
Okay. She gathers up some things and then starts following you out.
Great.
I'm sorry, where are we going again?
We're heading to Luken's office.
Ah, yes. Okay, great.
Yep. So talk to me. What? I know you've been reading these. I know you've been doing your thing. What's going
Yeah,
on?
I've been cataloging some things. I think I've got a couple of things worth going over, and I assume since we're going to Prelate Muscar's office,
Yeah, you can
that
call him Luken.
I will take that into consideration. Since we'll be going to Prelate Muscar's office, that
Sure.
I can share that information with him.
Absolutely.
All right, can do.
Yep. So what do you think? King's not the king? And then he just keeps walking.
She is stunned that you would say that in public. She follows behind. She's like, I will not answer that question.
Yeah, it's fine. Here we go.
You both arrive at the Church of Baaz, which is, in your experience, shockingly empty for this time of day.
Is there anyone in here?
There are people here.
Yeah.
But
does Luken have like an assistant or someone at the front office?
he does not have an assistant, no.
Yeah.
He would maybe...
That would involve record keeping
poor
and
guy.
like administration happening in this church, which
Yes.
we have established is not how we do stuff.
Yes, that is what I believe Becky does.
Yeah.
And-
Becky.
Yeah, Becky's everyone's
But
assistant.
she works in a different building.
Gotcha.
And works directly for the Archon.
Gotcha.
Who we presume is having a bad day.
He's having a bad couple days.
Boy, it looks like the party's over in here, huh?
There was a party here?
Oh, okay. Again, just keeps walking.
I would expect more confetti for a
What?
Baazian
It's over.
party.
Yeah, I think you're getting the point of the statement, right? Is there maybe was a party and now there's no confetti? Usually this kind of place is a confetti place, right?
Yeah.
And so now there's no confetti?
And so there's no party.
So there's no party. It seems like the party's over.
Ha!
Got it.
Ha!
Anybody seen Luken? Anybody seen Mascot?
I think I just hear that.
Yeah.
Like, so I stick my head out of my office. Senator Pinch!
There he is. Let's go.
To what do I owe the Just get up here.
Yeah, okay.
Wait. Beanie?
Hello, prelate.
Please, call me Luken.
I told you.
I will take this into consideration, prelate.
This is all being done at a yell.
Yeah. Yes.
From my upstairs office. Come on up. Well, great to see you.
Thank you. We both make our way up to your office. Beanie knocks.
And Harry just walks right past.
Yeah,
and just goes in.
I'm already sitting. I'm not getting back up to let you guys in.
Beanie does not take a seat. She stands dutifully behind Senator Pinch.
Beanie, what you got there?
She puts the books behind her. She doesn't put the books behind her back. She thinks about it, takes a look at Senator Pinch.
Harry just nods. Yes.
I have copies of things found in a basement. I believe you were there.
In Charnwick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You let him talk you into just walking around with those?
I tried so hard to convince him to not.
He's impossible.
No. I think.
Tell me what you really think. He's impossible.
No.
Yes, tell him what you really think, Beanie.
No.
Tell him, Beanie.
I think I'm gonna
Give it to him, Beanie.
I think I'm gonna take a PTO day.
Okay, all right. Tomorrow you
Right
can do
now.
that. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's
No?
fine. Okay, actually, before we get into the Beanie stuff, I ran into, literally physically, the good sister from the Church of Irasenda.
Oh boy.
Managed to see the little note, and it's two things. The note's just kind of catty and shitty, and is
it about us?
It's about you
Like
and how
the Boz Church?
Yeah, about how the church is a mess, effectively, and how you're, fucking shit up, and how bad it is, and how awful you guys are doing, just a terrible job, and then and how just much of a shit show it is between everything, and then also making a note to find other churches. So they might be pushing to then get you guys off the council entirely, which I don't think is a surprise or new knowledge. They seem like assholes, and so.
And you know what's the worst part?
Yeah,
they're a little right.
Exactly right. 100%.
You saw the lobby.
100%. It's not, the party's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Rough days for the church.
Days.
But they don't have to gloat.
So the more complex, interesting part is it was written in no kind of illusory script I've ever seen. Apparently, they can write in some variety of UV light. It was like purpley sort of UV light, which is something to keep an eye out on. If you have any divination ways of seeing some illusory script, find it. Maybe some cool glasses or something. I don't know what you guys do in the church stuff, but
yeah. Again, I've mentioned inventory, not our strong suit.
Yeah. There's got to be something lying around.
Something's got to be lying around.
You guys have relics sitting around everywhere, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, so that's the first part, and we'll let Sahra know when we see her. But so nothing crazy complex or anything interesting, but it feels like they're probably leaving messages lying around, thinking that they're so clever that no one will ever find their little UV lights. So worth keeping an eye out for.
Thanks for the heads up. Good looking out.
Absolutely. Beanie, what you got?
Galandria? The church of
Excuse me?
Galandria is technically the next church that would, if...
Oh, what's their deal?
They're just the church of courage and voyage and valor. If Baaz would fall from the Council of Faith.
Courage, valor.
I'm just statistically speaking,
yeah.
they would take the spot.
Yeah.
Why do they even have their own church?
It feels like it overlaps with Adeline pretty hard, right?
Lots of the other churches require that.
Yeah.
For
it's fine.
I mean, that's why they're number 6.
7.
I believe it would be 7.
Beanie is horribly embarrassed.
You mean that's why they're gonna be number 6?
Yes.
No offense, Luken.
Harry, when was the last time you let her have a PTO day? Because
she's allowed to have them whenever she wants. She has unlimited PTO.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is on her.
What a benefit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Studies show that that's a trap. And that people that have unlimited PTO actually take less PTO than their peers.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Have you ever tried?
To take PTO?
Yeah.
Yeah, I take PTO on my birthday and on my half birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have I ever given you a hard time about
No.
that? Yeah.
I don't. I mean, admittedly, I don't file my PTO to you.
Right.
So
remember earlier when you're like, I'm going to take a PTO day right now, and I said, yeah, go ahead, and then you didn't.
No, you said tomorrow.
Oh, that's what I thought you meant. It's tomorrow.
No,
and I was going to totally let you. Do you want to take PTO right now, Beanie?
Well, no.
Yeah. Okay.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Because it's fun.
I am interested in.
Yeah.
what you said earlier about the ultraviolet light.
Yeah. Door closed?
I also wonder if that means that they have like infrared light and the whole spectrum, something to be mindful of.
Interesting. What are the other parts of the spectrum, Beanie?
Just the visible spectrum and like gamma rays.
Oh. Do you have any way to read that?
Visible light? I think she knows how to see visible. Okay.
I could look into it.
That's like, let's put that at number 7 or 8 on the list of things to look into.
She takes a note.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. So Beanie's been looking at the basement books, as we affectionately have been referring to them.
Yeah.
She kind of cataloged everything in the basement there. So
Great.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. I do have a couple of things of note.
Let's start with that.
I know that you took down a couple of names. It seems as though Otra Lochner got his original tip from a individual by the name of Diel Roulat. She was a thief that he caught a number of years back who eventually escaped from the jail. But of note was the fact that in questioning Diel, she was convinced that the relics that she was taking from the church...
Which church?
It was the Church of Ota.
Oh.
Was her right.
By what claim?
As a descendant of the immortal soul.
Ah, that's wild. Why did she think she was the descendant of the do we know?
He just noted that down. Also of note is that he describes the cell in which she was being kept as a magically equipped cell, and that she just walked out.
I've done that before, just so you know. It sounds cool, but it's not that hard.
The cell was never opened. At least not from a magical perspective. It seems he came to the conclusion over the course of several other hypotheses that she was magically inert, meaning that magic had no effect on her whatsoever. Immune to magic of all kind.
Have you ever heard... You do a lot of research. You do a lot of record keeping.
Thank you.
Have you ever... You're welcome. Have you ever heard of any other person being considered magically inert?
I've heard of people being resistant to magic.
But not inert.
But not inert. Not could
immune.
Touch magical flame and be unburned.
Can I do knowledge roll on like if I've ever heard anything?
Yeah.
Like with my mom and dad being who they were?
Yeah.
15 with hope.
15 with hope. You have also heard of magically resistant things. You've heard of things that are even like immune to magic of certain types.
Yeah.
So like if it's like an enchantment spell, if the creature does not have a mind, like clanks are immune to enchantment magic because they don't have like a mind, but they are still burned by a fireball spell.
Yeah.
The other thing that comes to your mind is the Revenant spell that Otra cast. Otra cast, it said, kill Isarn Halavard. And Isarn Halavard, the words disappeared, leaving only kill behind.
Okay. But I've never heard anything about the Immortal King being immune to magic or anything like that.
Correct. The Incarnate King.
Yeah. That's not a thing.
Nope.
Which like is why I'm just saying from her claiming to be descendant of it, that's not a tie-in there.
You would
It's
also
something
know
different.
that the Incarnate King is not allowed to have children.
Oh,
He
that's right. As a
cannot
descendant.
have any children or relations of any kind.
Descendant of the immortal soul is distinct from reincarnated
Yes.
manifestation of the
Correct.
immortal soul.
So
So,
Boy, howdy.
there's seems like there's some rule breaking going on.
Everybody's horny sometimes. Okay. Holy smokes, Beanie. You were just sitting on that. Holy smokes.
How long have you been waiting with that information?
Oh,
Like, when did you find this out?
last Tuesday?
Beanie.
We've been busy, I guess. Yeah. I should
Harry.
have asked sooner. It's on me.
No wonder she's so high strung.
I know.
Is this a pressing matter?
A little. Remember when I made the comment earlier of like, let's see if the king's the king? Or like, do you think the king's the king?
Yeah.
You remember how that stressed you out?
Yeah.
This has to do with that, right?
But, I mean, he's the king because he's the king.
Yeah, he is acting as the king.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he maybe shouldn't be the king?
What if the king was not the king? Would you still want to follow that king? It's okay. This was somewhere, on the scale of importance, this was less important than prepping Harry for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Definitely less important than that.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be. I didn't ask you shit.
In general, I
Yeah.
just want to make sure
We're not
that
mad at you.
No.
We're not mad
it
at
feels like you're mad at me. Are you disappointed?
I'm just mad.
He's mad at me.
Yeah, I'm a little mad at
I
your boss.
prioritized the interview over chatting about this while we were looking for Isarn. And so didn't realize you had some real juice here. So that's on me.
I'm sorry.
Don't be.
No, don't be.
As I just said, it's on me.
Should I dock my pay?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
You could dock mine a little. If that solidifies that it's my fault.
I would. That's against the divine codex. There are rules in which I can.
In the Divine Codex, you can't dock my pay?
No.
That's wild.
Absolutely not.
Documents ridiculous.
One of us should probably read that thing
Yeah.
sometime.
Why? I got Beanie.
Bean, do you want a drink?
No. Water.
Yeah, just a water.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
With ice. Do you have a lemon?
Absolutely. Yeah, of course I do.
How decadent.
Yeah. Where do you think you are?
Yeah.
Well, the party's over, so I didn't know if you would still have lemons left.
I go over and I open a cabinet and there's just a cooler of lemon water. in there.
Wow. I don't think the party's over, Senator Pinch.
Nah, not in here.
So, Dio Roulat. Dio Roulat. That is our thief who's making this claim of being a...
DL Roulat?
I went phonetically. Can you say it again? Sorry.
DL Roulat?
DL Roulat.
Beanie looks over at Senator Pinch.
He just shakes his head.
It's
a party. It's not a... Yeah. You think I'm the dumb one.
No, I would never.
Well, come on.
Okay, but this is feeling kind of personal because Steve wrote this down.
Oops. So, has there been any other reports of DL Roulette
No.
since then? That's the last anybody's ever heard of them?
Otra became obsessed with some of the tangential things that he learned from Ms. Roulat,
Okay.
such as the statements, which I think you saw, the quotes from the Divine Codex that she quoted as some of the evidence supporting her right as a descendant from the immortal soul. And that led him to the Custodia Sanguis and other people that he believed might be members of that group.
Who else did he believe they would be a part of that group?
Well, Isarn
Isarn.
Halivard
Yep.
being chief among them. I think he was concerned about Isarn because of his growing position in politics.
Sure.
Aren't we all?
So you think Isarn might also be some kind of descendant if Revenant magic doesn't stick?
I don't think we can rule it out.
Yeah.
Or, if not a descendant, cut from the same cloth as Ms. Roulat.
What was the name of the king before Esau? The two before Asher?
Yair?
Yeah.
Yair is the king who routed a significant portion of the Venetharan Senate for what he said, and there was some evidence of corruption.
Can you find out for me anyone that Yer was personally very close to in their day? That maybe they would have spent a night or two together, maybe created a few descendants together. Anyone that could have been.
Yeah, I can do that.
Worth checking out. Because that above table, that's theoretically the timeline probably, right? If there's a descendant there, unless there's just multiple generations hanging out.
It's a good starting point.
Yer died in 1257. It's currently, that was over almost 100 years ago.
Sure, but that would be where the descendant of the, like, that's the most recent potential descendant of the actual incarnate.
Yeah, I hear it.
That's the most recent one.
That wouldn't explain why the current kings aren't the incarnate kings.
Sure, but it would maybe point to who was helping make descendants.
Mm-hmm. I can do that, of course. I didn't mean to question.
No, that's good. That's good. It's not going to answer our current big question, but any information I think is helpful. If we can find them, we can find who's unhappy with them.
You didn't say anything about what happened to DL Roulat. Like,
she escaped.
But like,
no sign of
current whereabouts unknown.
Unknown. Yes.
Between the two of you, this might actually be a you question, Luken. Where was Isarn before he was Isarn? Where was it? Like, what's his past and what's his history? Obviously, he's become a rising star in the last few years.
Yeah, they have to rise from somewhere.
Yeah, do we know anything about his upbringing or anything?
He was the sender of Warren, was the first I heard of him. Yeah. I presume in the last 2 weeks I have done a record search of some kind for Isarn's history with the group. Yeah. So,
roll. The check is just a 10. Because you have done the research.
Yeah. Knowledge?
Yeah.
We're going to find out what happens here.
Can I give it help?
Yeah.
I mean, we're on the task force together.
You have to give it hope.
Yes, man. I got hope to spare, baby.
Don't worry. 12 with hope.
You did not roll the advantage?
I did not.
You didn't even roll it?
No.
I just want to play fair. If you rolled it, I was going to take it away.
Isarn, prior to being the sender from Warren, came out of nowhere. You can find no substantiated record of his hometown, his parents. You can find conflicting evidence of his adventuring skills, claiming that he was a able fighter and a capable tactician. But it's truly like he started his life as a sender in Warren.
Yeah. I relay that to Harry. Look, we've looked. The guy's a ghost. Minor adventuring records, but half the kingdom has some kind of adventuring record here. We, as far as I can tell, can't even figure out who appointed him the sender in Warren. He popped up out of nowhere. Now, we have a lot of senders a lot of places.
And notoriously bad bookkeeping.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Beat me to it.
Yeah, not a priority. And when you only got Becky working on it, she's great.
Yeah,
There's
great.
only one of her.
Yep.
But even in the midst of all that, people know people in the church. And the fact that nobody can even recall who put him there in one of our most important, locations, one of the kingdom's most important locations. It seems to me like this goes beyond a simple lack of bookkeeping. I don't know where it goes, but it stinks.
Sorry to interrupt.
Never apologize for interrupting. You're so much smarter than us.
Yeah, 100%.
Have you ever seen Isarn cast magic?
I've only seen Isarn one time.
No, why do you ask? What's your thought?
If Isarn were to be magically inert, he would be incapable of casting magic.
So the inert is immunity to and inability from.
Correct.
Which raises the question, how did he manage to win a duel against a prelate.
You want a duel?
Against a prelate.
Well, and that's just like a game of tag, though, right?
Yeah, but if one person can cast magic and the other can't, tag is unfair, typically.
Is it a duel? They're not always like a game of tag.
It was a duel to the touch, not to the death or anything.
Is that a normal Baazian thing?
No, it is absolutely not.
Say more.
We tend to prefer our duels to require a little bit more out of you.
Huh.
A truer test of skill.
So where did this come from?
I would love to ask the prelate.
Yeah. What history
Doesn't,
do I know of that sort of type of duel?
Yeah, give me a roll.
11 with hope.
With 11, I mean, again, proofs of being an anointed are rare,
Yeah.
but they are usually feats of impressive miracles,
Yeah.
overcoming great odds.
It's seeming like it's almost like the prelate wanted Isarn to be able to prove himself. Challenging him to a duel that is boring by our standards didn't really require an extraordinary, miraculous feat. And
Yeah, but like you just said, against a magic user, if he's
she wouldn't have, in theory, she wouldn't have known that he is or anything. This is the first anyone is hearing about this magical inert part of it.
But if I could paint a picture, imagine I am Prelate Constant, and I imagine that all I have to do is stop you from touching me, and I just start launching fireballs at you, and you walk through flame and touch me like nothing was phasing you.
Yeah.
That could be perceived.
Yeah, that's pretty magical.
That does look pretty miraculous.
Pretty divine.
It leaves to me the open question of why Prelate Constant took that tact. But that's, I mean, but your explanation also plausible here.
She probably assumed she would. Prelate Constant is the prelate of the Grail. She is known for her magic.
Overconfidence. Hey, that's a pretty ballsy thing, huh?
Wouldn't be the first.
Hubris. Okay. Jeez Louise.
If he is magically inert, he both has a incredible weakness as a priest of Baaz. He can't do any magic, but he is also has an incredible strength. No one can scry his location. No one can manipulate him. He is, assumingly, if no one is prepared with this knowledge, magic is what we run on. No offense, but I've seen both of you use magic for pretty mundane things.
Like what?
Hey, maybe we don't go down this road.
I mean, our office is magically cooled.
All offices are magical.
Exactly.
Do you want to be cool? Huh? It's fine. It doesn't matter. I don't need to get up in arms about this. It's fine. You're not wrong. Okay. So we need to get him in a situation. Why hasn't he come out and said that he's a descendant? If that's what we're looking at, if that's what we're staring down the barrel of, what's
could it
hiding?
Could it be that he's waiting for a big enough audience? I mean, it seems like we are inadvertently so far giving him everything he's asking for.
So
I think factually, if he's behind any of the asks from Warren, I think you've given him nothing.
Sure.
Sorry.
Don't be.
But we've provided him with the opportunities to weave this legend that's now growing.
So we should assume if we're making the jump from Roulat to Isarn and whatever connection, whatever relation there is with them both being magically inert, theoretically, we then have to put them both in the Custodia Sanguis camp, right? Pretty firmly.
It seems a fair assumption, yeah.
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 Okay.
Now, look, just spitballing. Magically inert. Probably still, stab him.
Absolutely.
Okay, so...
And he won't be able to be healed.
See, so, it's not all bad. Mostly bad.
Mostly bad.
Not all bad. Assuming we're right.
Okay.
Wow. I slump back in my chair. This is a lot to take in. Thank you, Beanie.
Of course.
Where's the cider?
You know where the cider is. You've been in here before. Oh, did I tell you? I got jumped the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
They kick your ass?
Look at me. No. The two of them ran off. I had to rough up the other one because he came at me.
Oh.
But
Really?
I found this. And I pull out the pamphlet and I hand it to Harry.
Oh, a tract. I
Yeah.
haven't seen one of these in a while.
Right?
Was that your first time being jumped?
No.
Okay.
First time in a while.
Yeah, I
You know-
mean, just statistically speaking, it's likely to happen at some point.
First time since I've been a seraph.
Any of you been
Yep.
jumped?
Yeah, of course. That's why I have this mace. I am also an arcanist.
But sometimes the old methods work best, you know? Keep it simple. So, nice of him to extend the invitation, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting.
We've been working blind
Time to go
for a while.
see a guy about a thing. See a horse about a guy.
What do you say we get the band back together?
I'd love it. Where's Sahra?
Sahra, you approach the soup kitchen today, the day after your long lesson, shucking corn. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a lot of excitement and energy, and I've got my date with Imogen. So I'm wearing casual but nice casual clothes because I don't want to look like I'm trying too hard, but I also want to, impress. And I've got my hair braided in these really intricate braids with just soft hair that's kind of curled around my face. And I'm like a light pink today. My skin is light pink. Yeah, and I walk up to the soup kitchen and
He immediately opens the door as you arrive.
Great.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
you ready?
Yeah. Let me. And she grabs like a staff to kind of support a little bit of her weight. Yeah. I think I'm ready whenever you are.
Let's go.
Great. You all walk towards I believe you're taking her to the docks, the greater
Yes.
docks. You make small casual conversation most of the way there. Enjoy the sights, the canals, the nice view of the water and the infinite halls of the Incarnate King. The overall views are pretty great for a first date. Arriving at the docks, the sun is setting. You see the orange light paint colors on the sailboats, and you find a little bench to sit on. She sits down, a little winded from the long walk, and she says, I don't really come down here very often. This is really nice.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite spots in the city.
Did I hear that you were training with Vivian yesterday?
Yeah, it's kind of wild. I was not expecting it, but it's been really great.
That's great. Did she have you working on any poultices or?
No, I shucked corn the entire time.
Oh no.
Literally the entire night. I shucked so much corn.
Oh.
Look, my hands still smell like corn.
Oh. That's definitely just a hazing thing that she does. It's about teaching.
What?
It's about teaching patience. The next time you go, you're not gonna have to shuck any more corn.
Wait, have you trained with her?
Yeah.
I didn't know that you could do magic.
Yeah. She kind of looks down at the ground, shuffles her feet a little bit. I'm bonded to a spirit.
What spirit?
It's called the Da'an. It's a spirit of the deep. And she moves her feet, and almost like a bunch of little ants start to crawl along the ground. And in the first tens until eventually it's like almost a whole colony of ants on the ground. She says, "This is the dawn. It's like earth spirit. It's not nothing flashy. It doesn't do it. I mean, it's the spirit I've bonded to. It's great." But
Sahra's eyes get really big, and she smiles. When were you bonded with her? Him?
them,
Them?
yeah. They bonded with me maybe when I was like a teenager. Like, it's been well over a decade now.
Were you in danger?
No, it was, I don't know, I kind of always been a bit more of a loner, and I think they were kind of attracted to, I kind of always liked bugs, and they kind of were attracted to, I guess I don't know what it is about me, but we just kind of fit together.
I want to show you something. And I conjure swarm, but it's just a whole bunch of fireflies that just kind of illuminate the area that we're at, and they just kind of like create this beautiful warm ambiance around us.
Wow, that's way cooler than what I can do. That's incredible. You should not have been shucking corn. You are way beyond shucking corn.
Do you think so? I mean, this is just like a silly little party trick.
The way Aggie talks about what you did with the wildfire spirits, honestly, I think that what Vivian did was probably to maybe teach humility more than anything else. You're very powerful.
Imogen, I have a spirit too.
You do?
Her name is Aminette. She's the darkness, the space between the stars.
I've never heard of Aminette.
Vivian has.
Vivian is ancient. Truly ancient.
But Imogen, I've never met somebody else who has a spirit connected to them. I mean, with me, I got in this accident when I was a teenager, and we went to this stupid party, and they were using magic to control a water spirit, and I got in the middle of it, and it almost killed me. I almost drowned, and Aminette is the one that saved me.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, don't be, because I don't know. It's like you said, I was always kind of alone, but I know that Aminette is there with me, and it's scary sometimes, and I don't always know what it means when she's talking to me, and I don't always know what the right choice is. But then when Vivian told me that she knew her, it was like I was like home for the first time ever. I mean, I was around all these people who were doing the magic of my ancestors, and I was like becoming real for the first time.
I cannot imagine how scary it must have felt to have been in that massive castle with that king and all of those people so disconnected from everyone in your culture for so long.
I don't know about scary, but it was sure was lonely.
I can't think of anything more scary than being alone. That's honestly one of the best things about the Da'an is there's literally thousands of them.
Wow. This is just like crazy. I've never like talked to anybody like this before. I've never felt like I could like actually like be myself around anyone like this.
Do you want to see a cool trick?
Yeah.
Give me, do you have like a friend that you think you might, do you have a friend? Name, that's a weird question, sorry. Ugh, I'm fucking this up. Right now, give me a name of someone you know.
Okay. Herry Pinch.
The
Ouch.
little
God, just a rough night for Luke.
ants all immediately go into the ground, and you see Imogen close her eyes, and for a second nothing happens, and then she says, he's in the Temple of Baaz right now?
What?
Yes. He's in the Temple of Baaz right now.
Well, that's weird. Sorry, do you know if you could see where, Luken Mascar is?
Yeah. He's also they're very close to each other.
Huh.
There's another person there.
Who?
A woman named Beatrice Sahra?
Beanie?
Sure.
Weird.
I can't do a lot with them, but there are kind of so many of them that the Da'an can kind of like find people.
Wow.
Not super far, but for most of Rosinium City, I can find people really quick.
Interesting. Would you be able to find a man named Isarn Halivard?
I don't see why not. She closes her eyes. And more time passes than it did with the previous two. And she says, the Da'an can't find him, but they say that there are people talking to him.
Can you hear what they're saying?
I can't. I can't.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. I'm sorry. We shouldn't even...
They're talking... They're talking to him in the Commons, but I don't know why...
He's in the Commons?
That's where they're talking to him. Maybe they're like talking on a magic stone or some type of like communication device. That might confuse the Da'an.
Sure.
Because they don't find him here.
That's amazing.
It's just a little trick.
It's amazing. Wow. Thank you for sharing with me.
I'm sure Amunet can do super cool things. I mean, Amunet saved your life.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, primal magic, everything comes at a cost.
Everything comes at a cost.
It's starting to get a little dark out. Do you want to start walking back?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. It might take us a bit.
And I grab onto her left arm and just kind of link arms with her and help her.
I really appreciate this.
Me too.
Maybe again sometime?
I'd like that.
Me too.
You've been listening to Faith and Fortune by Theater of the Mindset. Our actual players this season are Steve Edinger, Shelby Myers, Nick Traeger, and your kind and generous GM, Justin Gerardot. Audio engineering, post-production, and scoring is done by Nick Traeger at Studio 3607. If you're enjoying the show, you can help us grow with no capital investment by sharing it with a friend, following us on Instagram and Reddit, writing us a review on your favorite podcatcher, or you can chip in for coffee at our Patreon. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week on Theater of the Mindset.